Hey guys, my name is Tessie. I am back from my period of hiding, and today we're talking about the movie Oloture. The movie gives us a glimpse into the realities of life for sex workers and the realities of sex trafficking in Nigeria. So if you haven't seen it, I can't be your friend until you watch that movie. Now, of course, the movie follows our protagonist Oloture slash Ehi, although she goes by Ehi for most of the movie, so I'll just be referring to her as Ehi. So what are some of the things the movie discussed? I'm glad you asked. First of all, sex trafficking as a systemic problem. So at the beginning of the movie, I was like, what is wrong with this Alera woman? Why is she such a witch? Especially because she used to be a sex worker herself, just like these girls. And she was treating the girls so badly, and then she was the one running the whole thing. But then there was this scene that made me realize that Alera wasn't the problem. Well, not the main problem anyway. It was that scene where she was talking with that guy, Tony, who was like her oga, her superior, right? In the sex trafficking chain of command, and he basically tells her that, listen, you promised me 15 girls back, so you got to deliver 15 girls, because if you don't, I'll kill you, because my superior Sue will kill me if I don't deliver the 15 girls that you promised, right? And that's literally the first time in the story that we see Alera be scared or display any sort of human emotion, right? Because up until this point in the story, she has been the big bad. And just seeing how he explained that he has superiors, or like who have superiors, so there are a lot of people involved in this thing, so if she messes up, and so in that scene, they were showing us that, Alera isn't just this evil person that is trafficking girls and doing this horrible thing. I mean, yeah, she was probably evil, right? But the point was, if you take Alera out of the equation, the problem doesn't just go away, because there is a whole industry, a whole network of people who are working together to traffic girls. From Alera to her Oga Tony, to Tony's own Ogas, to those touts they hired to, transport the girls, to the police officers, that they paid to let them pass the border. There's so many people involved. A lot of people who are closing their eye here, closing their eye there. So like any other systemic issue, it runs very deep and has deep roots within the society. Alright, second important thing, the realities of what sex workers go through, especially in Nigeria. There are a lot of people that think of sex workers as lesser human beings because of the work they do. So they're beaten, abused, literally treated anyhow. And we can see this in the scene where Ehi gets raped by that useless politician man, right? And he literally does it without a care in the world. In that scene where Chooks attacks Ehi in the street, he's like choking her and strangling her and threatening her and everything, and he literally says, I fit kill you now and nothing go happen, you could just be another dead ashawo for roadside. Now, believe it or not, another thing that I thought was interesting and important was the almost romance between Ehi and Emeka in the movie. I'll be honest, I'm actually glad that they didn't develop the love story between Ehi and Emeka, because I feel like it would have pulled away from the story a little bit, the story of sex work, of human trafficking, of just all these hard things. I didn't want to see anything subtract from the story they were telling. And I also just think it was nice to see an almost romance, because it's not really something you see often, but it happens a lot in life. Two people meet, they connect, people like yourself, but for some reason or another it just can't happen. Maybe sometimes it's the wrong timing, or there are more important things that both parties or one party needs to go and pursue, and it's not anybody's fault. It's really just what it is sometimes. It's just life. I think a similar thing happened in that Chimamanda's book Americana with Ifemelu and Obinze. Oh God, my heart was breaking for them, but unfortunately they had one of those situations where they loved each other more than anything, but the timing just never seemed to be right, and it's heart-wrenching when that happens, but I like it. I like the violence of it all. So I was glad that we got to see that in this movie. Another thing I was grateful this movie touched on was the difficulty of getting justice against the big man in Nigeria. So after Ehi gets raped, unfortunately, right, there's a scene where she's talking to Trooks in his car and she's asking him how she go fit take the big man strong timber, and he literally laughs and tells her that, see, babe, nothing way if you do big man for this Nigeria. Anything way big man do, you suppose just take him as experience and move on. Which again is unfortunate, but that's the reality. The next very important thing the movie obviously discussed was rape. So after that useless man rapes Ehi, and the other girls are literally like carrying her to the car because she can barely even stand, right? Because he dragged her. As they're walking past the stairs, the politician and his friends are literally sitting down, talking, making jokes, literally 5 meters away from where they're carrying this girl out, as if it was nothing, as if she wasn't a human being that he had just raped, as if she was less than, as if he had not just, I don't even know how to explain it, like they did a great job of sticking a knife in your stomach and twisting it. Like, that's what watching this movie felt like. That scene was very powerful, and I was extremely grateful for that scene, because at the end of the day, I feel like that is reality. The reality that we're experiencing right now is there are literally people who will rape somebody and they know nothing will happen. There are people who rape people in their family. They rape their cousin, their niece, their daughter, the girl down the street, and they know that what does she want to do? Who does she want to tell? Who does he want to report to that will believe him? It was so sickening watching that scene, and it's even more sickening the knowledge that this is our reality right now. I was so used to violence against women in Nigeria that nothing happens. Like, it's so normal. There's literally that scene that Ehi tries to run away, and one of the touts literally runs after her in broad daylight though, picks her up, throws her over his shoulder, goes back to the bus, throws her inside the bus and shuts the door, and nobody says anything. And mind you, they're in the middle of a market. This is in broad daylight. They're in traffic. People are everywhere. Everybody sees him do this, and not one person says anything. Everybody just minds their business, which is very interesting for us Nigerians, a people that generally do not know how to mind our business. Is in situations like that everybody knows how to silently keep quiet and mind their business. And I think what makes this even worse is the fact that we all know that was realistic. Anyway, let's move on. Try not to dwell on every depressing point so that, one will be angry at the end of this video. Alright, next thing about this video that I thought was very important was the pressure on older siblings to take care of their younger siblings in Nigeria. Especially if the oldest is a girl. Ooh! So in the movie, we see that Ehi's friend Linda is the oldest in her family, and she's working in Lagos and sending money back home to take care of, her siblings and her mom. And so eventually we see that Linda makes a decision to bring her little sister Beauty to Lagos into the sex work life so that two of them can go to Europe and make better money, right? And was that decision questionable? Yes, of course, especially considering the fact that Linda has been doing this for a while, right? So she knows exactly how difficult the life can be. But I don't think any of us can really judge her, to be honest, because, I don't know, maybe it was the only way, the only solution she saw. She was under a lot of pressure. She wasn't making enough money to support her whole family. It's tricky, man. Anyway, my point is the situation Linda is in is one that a lot of people can relate to. So basically, shout out to all the older siblings who are helping to take care of their younger ones, especially if you're the oldest, because I cannot imagine that that's easy. I'm not the oldest, so God bless you, all of you. Alright, so the ending of the movie. Now, when I initially watched the ending, I was upset, I was shocked, I was sad, I was angry, and I was frustrated that they ended it that way. But then as I thought about it, I became very grateful that they ended it the way that they did, because I feel like it would have been disrespectful if they didn't. Disrespectful to the actual people in real life whose story this is, whose story they're telling in this movie. There are a lot of people for whom the bad thing happens at the end of the day. Nobody is there to save them. It is reality. It made me extremely uncomfortable to think about and just wrap my head around that this actually happens and go and sit down and do research. But I think that was the point of the movie. I don't think this movie was made to make us feel comfortable, I feel like it was meant to shake us and wake us up, us being the public that are naive to the realities of sex work and sex trafficking in Nigeria, right? I was thinking about Linda and how literally some people can literally be in the hardest possible situations and you could never know. Like Linda's mom was living in the village, like she knows her daughter works in Lagos, but she really didn't know exactly what she did for work. And then one day when Beauty eventually makes it back home, she's going to hear that, Linda died, this is how she died, this is what was really happening. The reality is, Linda's mom was just a random good unsuspecting mom. That could literally be anybody, anybody's kid could be the one who is struggling, in a different city. And then one day you just hear that something happened. I don't know. It's just, anyway, moving back to the movie. Was the movie perfect? No, probably not, but the story they were telling was so potent, so important, and so well told that I almost didn't care. And it is because of that I feel they did a great job in this movie. There are all these impressive elements of the story that I can talk about, like how the camera work was amazing, especially in the beginning of the movie, the opening scene where, we see Oloture going to the club, the camera follows her, like just everything that unfolds in that club scene, like Great work of art. Excellent choice in music for the entire movie. We could even talk about how using the green wig to demarcate between the characters of Oloture and Ehi was an excellent stylistic choice, or even how the casting was amazing. But these artistic choices all paled in comparison to the importance and the gravity of the story they were telling. Anyway, that's all I have for this movie today. Let me know what you think in the comments, especially about the end of the movie, and I will see you in the next video.